So, picture this. It is the first week of June, and you're standing in your kitchen.
Oh, man. The absolute worst time for this.
Right. It's brutal. The air coming out of your vents is completely warm. You're sweating. Your air conditioner is just, humming uselessly outside in the yard.
Just making that awful buzzing sound.
Exactly. And the HVAC technician slides a piece of paper across your kitchen table. You look down, and there are two numbers staring back at you.
The dreaded two numbers.
Yeah. Option 1 is $1,800 to fix the compressor on your 12-year-old unit.
Ouch.
Or option 2, $8,500 to just replace the whole thing. So what do?
I mean, if you go online, literally every forum and article will tell you to use this thing called the 5,000 rule to do the math.
Right. But the problem we're looking at today is that, that math is basically a complete lie.
Is the ultimate homeowner trap. I mean, we are making a decade-long financial decision based on this heavily oversimplified equation.
And usually on the hottest day of the year, right? When we're just desperate to sign anything to stop sweating.
Exactly. You're not thinking clearly, you just want cold air.
Okay, let's unpack this, because people always quote this thing called the 5,000 rule, multiplying the age of the unit by the repair costs, like it's a law of physics. But is it really that simple, or are we just relying on lazy math?
It's incredibly lazy math.
Right. So today, for our deep dive, we are exploring the actual field notes and 45 years of field experience from Dave Hartzell.
Yeah, a master HVAC technician.
Yep, out in Kingfisher, Oklahoma. And we are going to decode the actual math and the hidden factors behind this whole repair versus replace dilemma.
Because these are the insights that most sales reps simply won't tell you.
To really get it, we need to understand how the 5,000 rule is actually supposed to work, right?
Yeah, so here is the basic internet logic. You take the age of your unit, let's say it's 12 years old. You multiply it by the repair quote.
So that $1,800.
Right. 12 times 1,800 equals 21,600. And because that number is over 5,000, the internet tells you, it's a wrap, you must replace the unit.
But looking through Dave's field experience, that rule completely ignores the real world.
Oh, completely.
He's kept 15-year-old units running perfectly, and he's totally scrapped 8-year-old ones. So, age is clearly not the determining factor here.
No, not at all. Age and repair price, they're just surface-level inputs. They don't tell you anything about the actual mechanics of the system.
Right.
So to really solve this dilemma, we have to start inside the machine, specifically with the chemistry.
The chemistry, you mean the refrigerant, the actual gas making the air cold?
Exactly. The very first thing an honest technician does when they walk up to your house is not check the age of the unit. They look at the data plate to see what kind of chemical the thing drinks.
Because that changes everything.
What's fascinating here is how a massive regulatory change completely overrides basic financial math.
You're talking about the R22 phase-out.
Right. If that data plate says R22, your math is done. That refrigerant was an ozone-depleting substance, and it was completely phased out of production by 2020.
So now, in 2026, any R22 left out there is strictly gray market.
And the economics of that are just staggering. You're looking at $90 to $150 a pound.
Pound? Wait, and a typical 3-ton home AC needs what, like 7 to 9 pounds of this stuff?
Yeah, easily. So if your 12-year-old compressor failed because there's a leak in the line, which is, incredibly common.
Sure.
Just replacing the lost chemical can cost you $1,000 before the technician even picks up a wrench.
Wow. Here's where it gets really interesting. It's basically like pouring premium imported racing fuel into a beat-up 1998 sedan, right?
It's exactly what it is.
It's just an investment in a sinking ship. So the age doesn't kill the unit, the chemical market does.
Precisely. Now, contrast that with a system running on R410A. That refrigerant is still totally fine. It's reasonably priced.
So in that scenario, the $1,800 repair might actually make sense.
It might be the smartest move you could make. And then, of course, you have the newest low GWP refrigerants.
Right, the global warming potential.
Yeah.
So like the R454B or R32.
Yeah, but those literally just started shipping in 2025. So if you have one of those, your unit is way too new to be failing anyway.
Okay, so the chemistry inside is factor 1. But let's look at the physical environment surrounding the machine. Factor 2. The indoor coil.
Oh, this is where things get really messy.
Because in the notes, Dave warns heavily against just swapping the broken box in the backyard. Why is putting a brand new outdoor condenser on a 12-year-old indoor coil such a disaster?
Because your system is split. You have the pump outside and the coil inside, usually up in a hot attic or a closet. When the outdoor unit dies, homeowners always try to save money by saying, hey, just give me a new outside box.
Which, I mean, sounds logical. That's the part making the horrible grinding noise.
It sounds logical until you look at the thermodynamics. A brand new outdoor compressor is designed to push refrigerant at very specific modern pressures.
Right.
But you're asking it to push that refrigerant into an indoor coil that has been vibrating, baking in your attic, and collecting dust for 12 solid years.
Just coated in 12 years of microscopic dirt and corrosion.
Exactly. Plus, it has an outdated metering device. It's basically a clogged nozzle. So if you attach a massive, powerful new pump outside to a clogged 12-year-old nozzle inside, the new pump just chokes.
It burns itself out fighting that resistance.
That mismatch is exactly how you end up with a shiny 3-year-old replacement system that just constantly limps along and never actually cools the house.
Conversely, though, the notes say if that indoor coil was replaced under warranty, say, 4 years ago.
Yeah, then you heavily lean toward just repairing the condenser because the physical ages aren't completely mismatched.
Okay, so we've got the gas, we've got the coil, but what about factor 3, the actual delivery system, the ductwork?
The attic black hole. This is the horror story Dave has seen for 45 years.
People spending, what, $9,000 on shiny new equipment?
Yep. And completely ignoring the ductwork that has literally been leaking 25% of their expensive conditioned air straight into the attic since 1998.
Wait, 25%? They're air conditioning the roof.
It happens all the time. Technicians go up there and find collapsed flex duct sections where the air can't even squeeze through.
Wow.
They find disconnected boots just blowing cold air onto fiberglass insulation, uninsulated metal trunks where the air heats up 10 degrees before it even reaches your bedroom.
So throwing a powerful new blower motor at bad ductwork just means you're blowing cold air out of the attic leaks even faster.
Exactly. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's really a systems thinking problem. The HVAC industry loves to sell isolated boxes of machinery.
Just swap the box.
Right. But they really should be treating the house as a single interconnected ecosystem.
So Dave has this alternative math that I love. He says sometimes the smarter move is paying the $1,800 to repair the old AC.
Yeah.
And then spending $2,500 to actually fix and seal the ducts.
Which is brilliant, because for under $5,000, you are buying 4 more years of actual high-performing comfort.
So what does this all mean for you as a homeowner? Are we basically constantly getting duped into buying shiny new engines while completely ignoring that the transmission, the ductwork is completely shot?
That is exactly what is happening. We hyper-focus on the hardware and ignore the environment it operates in.
Okay, so let's introduce the biggest variable into this ecosystem, you, the homeowner. Because the right answer completely changes based on your personal timeline.
Factor 4. Time in the home.
Yeah.
And this is the question that literally no sales rep will ever ask you.
Well, yeah, because it ruins their pitch. So say I am selling my house next spring.
If you're selling the house next spring, do not, under any circumstances, spend $8,500 on a new unit.
Because I'll never see that money again.
Never. The buyer is going to hire a home inspector. The inspector will find a leaky roof or a foundation crack, and the buyer will just negotiate the value of that shiny new AC right out of the sale price anyway.
It's literally like buying a 10-year non-refundable luxury gym membership when you're moving out of state next month.
Perfect analogy. In that scenario, do the cheapest honest fix. Disclose it transparently to the buyer and just move on.
But what if it's my forever home? Say I'm planning to stay for the next 12 to 15 years.
Well, then the map totally flips. Factor 5 is understanding what new equipment actually buys you over a decade.
Okay, break that down for me.
Upgrading a 12-year-old, say, 13-SEER unit to a modern 16-SEER variable speed system that yields a massive 20 to 30% efficiency boost.
Especially in a harsh climate like Oklahoma.
Exactly. So let's look at the math. On a $200 summer electric bill, you are saving $40 to $60 a month.
So over a 5-month cooling season, that's $200 to $300 a year.
Right. And over 12 years in that forever home, that is $2,400 to $3,600 in pure energy savings.
Which offsets a huge chunk of the install cost. But there's also a physical comfort upgrade with these variable speed things, right?
Oh, it's night and day. An older single-stage system just blasts cold air at 100% power, freezes the room quickly, and abruptly shuts off.
Right. So the house feels cold, but kind of clammy and gross.
Exactly. Because it didn't run long enough to pull the humidity out.
Uh-huh.
But a variable speed system runs much longer at a very low capacity.
So it's constantly wringing the moisture out of the air like a sponge.
Yes, meaning you can set the thermostat 2 degrees warmer and actually feel more comfortable because the air is so dry.
Wow.
This raises an important question about how we calculate return on investment. It's not just dollars, it's duration, and it's your daily physical comfort.
That makes so much sense. But I want to pivot to the craziest thing in Dave's notes. Because now that we know how to make the decision, there is this secret third path that most contractors deliberately hide.
The rehab option.
Yes,
Yeah.
the rehab. Wait, so they can basically give the AC a heart transplant for half the price, and nobody talks about it just because of the profit margin?
It is the industry's best-kept secret. If your metal cabinet is strong, for about $3,500 to $5,500, Dave can completely rebuild it.
Literally just ripping out the guts.
Yep. Pulling the compressor, replacing the coil so the physics match, new metering device, new contactor, new capacitor, and fresh charge.
And doing that extends the life by, what, 8 to 10 years?
8 to 10 years. And it comes with a 1 to 2 year warranty on conventional units, up to 5 years for geothermal.
So why don't other Oklahoma contractors offer this?
Because the profit margin is just too low. Spending a hot day rebuilding a unit doesn't make him as much money as just dropping a brand new expensive box in your yard.
Which is exactly why Dave offers it. I mean, Hart Cells Heat and Air has 4.8 stars across 276 reviews for a reason.
It is the economics of trust. By clearly offering all three paths, repair, rebuild, and replace with exact numbers and zero pressure, he actually builds a more sustainable business.
People aren't stupid. They know when they're being given honest options. But speaking of options, we need to talk about the 2026 rebate reality.
Yes, this is a massive warning for anyone looking at replacement, especially geothermal.
Because salesmen will try to trick you here.
Do not let a slick salesman sit at your table and use the federal Section 25D credit in a 2026 pitch. That federal credit expired on December 31st, 2025.
So if they use it, they are literally cooking the books on your quote.
Completely.
Yes.
But the good news is the real money is actually in active local utility rebates right now.
Okay, let's run through these because the numbers are wild.
If you are on Seek Energy, they are paying $2,000 per ton. That is up to $24,000 in rebates.
That is basically a free system. What about the others?
OG&E pays $1,000 per ton plus $1,500 per unit. And Simran Electric pays $600.
So these utility rebates can take a $25,000 geothermal install and drop the net cost down to $13,000 to $15,000.
Instantly making the absolute best equipment competitive with just a standard replacement.
Wow. Okay, we've covered so much ground here. Let's distill the core takeaways.
Yeah, let's recap.
The whole repair versus replace decision is never just a simple map equation based on age. The 5,000 rule is bed.
Very, Ted.
It's really about the refrigerant. It's the age of your indoor coil. It's the condition of those leaky ducts in your attic.
And of course, how long you actually plan to stay in the home.
Right. And knowing there's that hidden rebuild path. So if you're listening to this and you live in the Kingfisher or Northwest Oklahoma area, staring down a massive four-figure repair bill,
Yeah.
you need a second opinion.
You need someone who will actually look at the whole system.
Exactly. You can call Hart Cells Heat and Air at 405-375-4822 or visit heartcellssheetair.com. They do free, honest estimates, no high-pressure sales.
Just a transparent look at whether you should repair, rebuild, or replace.
Which leaves me with one final thought for you to mull over. If we have been so easily trained to blindly follow the 5,000 rule for our air conditioners, literally treating a complex system as an isolated broken box while completely ignoring the environment around it,
Yeah.
what other expensive rules of thumb are you accepting in your daily life without questioning the underlying system? What else in your life are you treating as an isolated broken box when really it's the environment around it that desperately needs fixing?
That is a great question to end on.
Keep looking at the whole system, everyone. We will see you on the next Deep Dive.